If you are a green card holder or a permanent resident and you are now thinking about trying to apply for your naturalization in order to petition or sponsor your family, then stay tuned until the end of this video because I will tell you the 5 things that you need in order to apply for your certificate of naturalization. Watch the whole thing because that last requirement, the 5th one, is going to be very important for you to be able to get through this application of your naturalization. Everyone has their own path. Everybody has different passions, different goals, and most importantly, everybody has different priorities. I was a Filipino citizen and I'm now a naturalized US citizen, and this is how I did it. So if you're thinking about petitioning your family from the Philippines and then having them come over here to the United States, there are 5 things that you're going to need to know about and in order for you to qualify and in order for you to pass your application. So if you are in the stage of your life where you are trying to get to your naturalization and you are thinking about what it is that you need to actually apply, then watch this whole short video so that way you can know exactly what are the 5 things that you need, and watch it until the very end because that last part is the most important and it's a very serious requirement that you absolutely need to understand. Number 1, the first thing you're gonna need to meet in order to be eligible for your naturalization is that you need to have lived in the United States for at least 5 years. You can of course travel to different countries, you can go to the Philippines, you can travel to any other country, but you need to have lived in the United States for longer than at least 6 months in 1 year. So let's say you were traveling back and forth between the Philippines and the United States, and then you're also trying to visit different countries because of your job or whatever it may be. You just wanted to explore the world, whatever it may be. So let's say within the span of 12 months, you've stayed in the United States for about 4 months, and then you went traveling around and you stopped over in Philippines and stayed in Philippines for about 4 months too. You can technically do that, but in order for you to meet the requirements of being an eligible permanent resident for that year, it's kind of a tricky situation because you're going to need to be able to show proof that you actually live in the United States. You're going to need to make sure that you can show proof that you reside permanently in the US by either showing a permanent address, showing that you have a lot of belongings that are here in the US, like a car with a car loan payment, for instance. You're going to need to be able to show that you are employed in the United States and that you do have a job that you're trying to maintain here in the US. And I guess the most important part about that is that you are technically a permanent resident in the US, so technically your permanent house should be here. The second thing that you're gonna need to be able to do is you're gonna need to be able to read and write in basic American English. So part of being a permanent resident means that you've lived here for about maybe 4 years now. So technically you should be able to properly talk to people living in the same country as you. That means being able to understand what people are saying, being able to respond in English that the people in the same country can understand. I don't know how else to actually explain this, but just basic English. You don't need to be able to write eloquently like Shakespeare and stuff like that. You just need to be able to speak to somebody and have them understand you, like, hey, my name is PJ, or the sky is blue, or that light is yellow, whatever it may be. But you just need to be able to understand and speak and write basic English. If you've lived here for the past 4 or 5 years, then this would probably come naturally to you because, you know, everybody who's talking to you are speaking in English. And in order for people to be able to understand you, of course, you gotta speak the same language. You don't also have to have the American accent. People anywhere have a hard time trying to say things the proper way, even though those people who are born here anyways. So that's not a very big concern. The really important part is just being able to read and write in basic English. So if you are finding value into this kind of form of video, trying to teach you how to apply for your US citizenship, don't forget to click like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that way you can be notified every time I release these types of videos, and that way you can be on your way to achieving your goals and priorities in life, whatever it may be. Third thing that you're gonna need is you're gonna need to be able to demonstrate good moral character. In order to pass the first part of your interview, you just need to be able to show that you do not have an intent to harm or threaten anybody living in the United States of America. I'm not much into doing anything that breaks the law, but I think this part kind of speaks for itself. Just be a good person, be a good citizen. So the fourth requirement, you are gonna need to have some basic knowledge of US history and of course the government. A part of being a resident here in the United States, of course knowing the US history will pretty much come to you naturally. Once you're here, you will be basically engrossed by all of the history anyways, like all of the history that there is to know. Maybe not, especially the current government. So if you come here in 2023, like the president, who is the president right now, of course, it's President Biden, stuff like that. And then if you were young when you came to United States and maybe you were able to attend at least high school, this section won't be too hard for you at all. And the only thing too, if you are someone who don't like history or politics, don't worry too much, because there are going to be guides and there's a community that can help you out. If you feel like you'll need a buddy to be able to learn the US history or just government, like general informations about it, comment down below and let us know what you think or feel, or what questions you may have about the US history, and I will personally try and help you out in the comments below. Alright, so down to the most important part of this video, the fifth requirement. So to the most important part of all of this, is that you need to be willing to take the oath of allegiance for the United States of America. It basically means that you are denouncing your prior citizenship. Let's say if you are a Filipino, you're denouncing your citizenship to be a Philippine citizen to become a United States citizen. What does that really mean? So in short, you need to be willing to die for this country. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too harsh. But you do need to be able to say that you are willing to take up arms or bear arms and serve the country if ever that time comes and the country requires for you to serve the military. And to be honest with you, if you are unsure about this, then buddy, I would suggest to take another year and make sure that you can confidently say yes. Why? Because you're going to be taking an oath under the court and under God. Whether you are an atheist or a believer in higher power, that is a serious oath to take. So if you're taking this naturalization for your family's future, for instance, then as long as you understand that defending the freedom of this country lines up technically with the freedom of your family, then I'm pretty sure you can confidently say yes, and you would realize that this is a basic, solid yes. At the end of the day, being a US citizen isn't an entitlement. It is a privilege and it is a choice. So if you can do all of those 5 things, then you're all set. All you have to do is now go to the USCIS website. I will put the link in the description below, and then you're gonna be golden and you can apply for your certificate of naturalization. A bit of a disclaimer, it took my process at least a year and a half. And it was because of the whole COVID situation, and there was a lot of delays and stuff like that. If you are just in your 4th year and you're trying to, prepare for all of that information, then you are in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will be notified every time I release videos in regarding to certificate of naturalizations, US passports, traveling to the Philippines, back and forth, and whatever it may be. Alright, and I'll see you in the next video.
Trying to find some balance in